am Ahran Lee, and this piece is called Metamorphosis of Superpowers. So last year I had the pleasure of attending the Hungry Ghost show. This was before I applied for the program because I needed to kind of see what it was all about. Because when I read it on the Facebook description, it seemed impossible. Transformation through healing with complete strangers, a safe space of women of color. I grew up in Virginia where Confederate flags were normal, and growing up that way and not having mirrors reflecting back to you, you just believe that that kind of thing is not possible. So I went to the show. I met Lisa there, I met Frances there, I met Maggie there, I met Cynthia there, and everybody who had a piece there and their artist statement reflected back something I felt, this very specific pain that women go through, specifically women of color. And I couldn't believe the sentences, the words so accurately captured my bullshit. And so I looked at a piece, I cried, I couldn't handle it. I went to the next piece, I cried, I had to leave the space to come back because it was just so overwhelming. And obviously I applied, and now I'm standing here showing you my work. So a place of my own is more of a mantra than a physical space. Something that I struggle a lot with is self-loathing, and I think that's not unique to me as a woman. I did think, though, that being bicultural, being a woman, and all these things were just huge burdens, just terrible things that I had to somehow erase. I don't know how I can erase this, but that's the negative thought patterns I had. And it just seemed like I was at the base of Mount Everest, and this mountain was just an impossible mountain to climb. So I dug into the workshops, I witnessed my sisters healing and transforming, and I started to think, why am I not shifting? What is wrong with me? That's the constant inner dialogue I have. What is wrong with me? Why am I bad? Why am I not good enough? Not a lot of self-worth. And with intensive therapy and participating in this program, I realized a magical surprise. All the things that I've been working so hard to eliminate, eradicate, invisibilize, and silence were actually the things that I wanted to share and just be like, fuck, this is my shit. And actually those things are the places that my superpowers come from. If we were living in a society or just in a family culture where bringing out your flaws and being vulnerable and honest, if that was more encouraged for young girls, that would just make the world a much better place. But it starts with me. And so I borrowed the philosophy of kintsugi, which is a Japanese philosophy of broken pottery and you mend it back with gold leaf and glue. And so I borrowed that metaphor, I created my own rivers of gold. And while I was making this, somebody, I think it was Irene actually, she told me that it looks like lightning. So superpower, lightning, yeah. I was hoping it would look like brokenness, but happy accidents. And so the big circles are actually a beautiful donation by Chris. He had these tabletops for 18 years. Some of you who are artists know that we hoard things because we always think it's going to be useful for a project. So it finally came to fruition. He was nice enough to donate it to me. And I was very deliberate about the color red because, as we've learned today, red is the root chakra, has our foundation. And I also like to think red is a power color for women because we bleed. That is our ultimate superpower, right? Right? Yeah. So that, and also these circle dowels were something I found at Scrap. We took a field trip, and they're just wooden dowels, and I was like, what am I gonna do with this? But I'm something saying, go get the circles. So I got the circles, and I made prints of illustrations that I did, and pasted them onto the circles. And the circle theme is also, healing is not a linear process. Healing is ugly, uncomfortable, disturbing, but if you push through that and you do it over and over again, it gets easy. Like water, like fluidity, like blood. So embrace your flaws, share them with people, and then you'll start to realize that's what connects us, because we all have our flaws, we all have our imperfections, and that's what makes us human and not weak. That's the source that gives you your superpower. So for me, my focus is Asian American feminism, mental health literacy, and cultural equity. The more I show my face, this face, in the art world, the more people will see that, you know, some other Korean girl or some other Asian woman, I can do that. I don't have to hide. I can show myself, vulnerability in all of it, and make beautiful work. So that's myself. Christy.